Start something.
Morning news. Weekdays, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on CNN.
Hello, I'm Miles O'Brien at the CNN Center in Atlanta. Pinnacle up next, but first we'll check the top stories for you this morning. Less than a day after flying into history, Bertrand Piccard and Brian Jones touched down early Sunday in the Egyptian desert. They wanted to land near the pyramids, but unfavorable winds kept them away. The two adventurers are the first to fly around the world nonstop in a hot air balloon. The journey took 19 days and covered more than 29,000 miles. The threat of NATO military strikes has not stopped the fighting in Yugoslavia's Kosovo province. Serbian forces are attacking rebel positions in central Kosovo for a second straight day, setting houses ablaze. This weekend's fighting has prompted fears of a return to full-scale warfare in that region. NATO ambassadors are meeting in Brussels to discuss the situation. Memorial services set this morning in the Illinois town where an Amtrak train crashed into a truck. Not only will the 11 victims be remembered, but tributes will also be paid to rescue workers. First Lady Hillary Rodham Clinton and daughter Chelsea begin a 12-day tour of Africa today. They will visit Egypt, Morocco, and Tunisia. Their departure Saturday delayed because of a problem with their plane's hydraulic system. Mechanics fixed the problem in less than an hour, and the plane took off without incident. I'll be back at the top of the hour with the Sunday morning magazine show. Pinnacle up next.
Attention Pinnacle fans, on April 11th, we're moving to prime time on CNN, 9:30 p.m. Eastern on Sunday nights. So you'll be able to see us twice on Sunday at 7 a.m. and 9:30 p.m. Eastern right here on CNN.
I thought you were going to drop a bomb. Well, she's white.
White! Man, you crazy!
She's Italian. H-bomb from Bensonhurst. Nuclear megaton bomb.
In his films, he's a gifted talker, but in person, Spike Lee is a man of few words.
Roll.
He prefers to speak through his work, films, videos, commercials. They are talkative, artistic, funny, and full of music. Spike Lee's story is set in New York City. It's getting dark. We open on our hero hard at work in Central Park, making commercials for the National Hockey League.
1 minute. Cut. Cut.
Spike Lee has made 12 films in the past 12 years, and all have been critical or commercial successes. But his bread and butter these days comes from making some of the classic commercials of our time.
Don't be stupid. Stay in school. Do what Michael Jordan said. Stay in school. Keep myself right.
Hold up. If we're going to live together, we got to play together. The more colors, the more better. Peace.
He may be terse in interviews, but he opens up with aspiring filmmakers.
I'm saying there's a danger of being heavy on style and look as far as story goes.
He teaches film students at his old alma mater, New York University Film School. It's the place that also produced Martin Scorsese, Oliver Stone, and a host of other fine filmmakers.
You have to be well-rounded. I think that you should try to be in command of everything. Your storytelling, and how to light, how to shoot, how to move the camera.
As Spike likes to tell students struggling with their productions, the bigger the sin, the better the story.
When you have a kid and your mother takes off, in my culture, that's like a sin. It's like you just wouldn't do it. Eventually, you're going to have to.
I'm saying it'd be a greater sin if the mother left.
I see what you're saying.
That's a better story to me.
Spike's own student project was called Joe's Bed-Stuy Barbershop. We cut heads.
Man, what's up? What's up, man? What's up?
You have what is commonly known as a lump head. That's why I don't see too many of those these days.
It's a sweet invocation of Spike's beloved Brooklyn and a foreshadowing of lighter touches and darker themes to come.
Your heads, your pea heads, your peanut heads, and your pregnant heads.
Do you go back and look at your films at all?
I haven't seen Joe's Bed-Stuy Barbershop in probably 7, 8 years.
Being that you are writer, director, often a star in your movies, Can you ever stop editing the project? Are you ever happy with what's completed?
Well, I'm happy. I mean, I'm not a compulsive type person that you have to keep tinkering with stuff. You know, when I feel it's done, and then we just move on to the next thing.
How's your definition of success changed over the years?
I have never really measured success by box office. I always felt that it was more in line with, did I put on screen what I visualized, you know, when I was writing the project. That's how I feel artists are measured.
In Spike's own words, you gotta have the vision first. You gotta have it. You gotta go through school days. You gotta do the right thing. And maybe, if you're lucky, you'll get Mo better. Spike Lee, artist, visionary, businessman, sports fanatic. Next on Pinnacle.
This is Pinnacle with Beverly Shook.
Pinnacle is brought to you by Chrysler, engineered to be great cars.
The 300 Secret. At Chrysler, the latest 300 is unveiled.
The 300 philosophy has always been one of styling leadership, presenting the newest 300. Chrysler 300M, the 253 horsepower descendant of the legendary Letter series. Sliding into the spacious cabin makes you feel connected to a true automotive thoroughbred. And now, Motor Trend 1999 Car of the Year.
I am not an electrician. I am not a decorator. I am not a mover. I'm a home buyer. And I could use some help.
Introducing a new time-saving service exclusively for Coldwell Banker customers. Coldwell Banker Concierge is designed to help home buyers and sellers take care of the details of moving.
I am not a landscaper. I'm not a painter. And I'm going to be okay.
Call your local office and discover what real estate should be.
Hey, better, where's the better?
Paul.
Hey, thanks for telling me about 10-10-3-2-1.
Oh, you're using it, huh?
All the time. I call my folks in Seattle, my brother in Philly.
Hey, I have people in Philly. Stay here, I too. I wasn't ready.
Hey, did you really save much with 10-10-3-2-1?
Oh, yeah.
50% on calls over 10 minutes.
Wow, half off? That's huge.
Sure is.
I'll be back. 10-10-3-2-1. Who doesn't want to save 50%?
Stand by.
What? You rolling?
Okay, hold still. Flip.
Are you rolling?
Roll. Spike Lee's got a problem. He's directing this $1 million commercial for the National Hockey League, and his actors are rebelling.
All right, camera. Right here, please. Here. Camera here.
Every minute's delay costs Spike money. He owns 51% of Spike DDB, the ad agency. It gives him control, but it also gives him headaches and sore feet.
Oh, really, my Dr. Stone?
This night, the actors are demanding more money. Spike and his production team are forced to renegotiate dozens of contracts on the spot, and they do. What's the appeal of doing commercials?
Well, the appeal to me was ownership. Before, when I was doing commercials, I was just a hired hand, a hired gun. When I needed a director, they would call me. But now, I own 51% of this joint venture between myself and DDB Needham.
So far, let's look at the success of your company. In the first year, you had $2 million profit on billings of $35 million.
Sounds about right.
But you know the criticism that you've gotten. Some of the harshest criticism you've got have been from Burrell's, the largest black-owned agency. They say that, you know, that it's an unfair advantage. Are you using your stardom, your star power, at an unfair advantage to these struggling black agencies who've been working all over?
First of all, what country is this? What country do we live in? Can I answer my question?
America.
If Coke does something to Pepsi, are they worrying about what's fair or what's not fair? This is America. This is about business. when does fairness come into play? So where does this whole thing come where because Spike Lee, if I've developed a position in this world where I could pick up a phone and call somebody and use that, then I'm a bad guy because that's not fair?
Hello, Uncle Jake. How you doing? You all right? Okay. How's your game? Okay.
Whatever one thinks of Spike's advertising, the box office has spoken loud and clear on his film, He Got Game. Its first weekend, it grossed nearly $8 million and was #1 in the country.
Can I please have your autograph?
Who are your heroes today?
Michael Jordan.
His only regret about Michael Jordan is that he's not playing for Spike's beloved New York Knicks. When Pinnacle returns, we pick up the early chapters of Spike Lee's story, the aspiring young artist desperate to raise $50,000 by any means necessary just to make his first film.
When dentures dream, they see the perfect denture cleanser. One with the stain-fighting power of Efferdent and the freshening power of Listerine. Well, little friend, dream no more. It's really here. It's called Efferdent Plus, and it's the only denture cleanser that could make your dream come true. Efferdent Clean and Listerine Fresh. That's Efferdent Plus.
Want to color your gray beard or mustache and look natural? Get Just for Men Gel.
You look so natural, no one can tell. With Just for Men Gel.
Brush in and in 5 minutes, gray is gone.
No one can tell. With Just for Men Gel.
I would like to know where you're going. What difference does it make where I'm going? I would like to know. I don't know yet. I have to weigh my options.
Like most Spike Lee films, the latest one, He Got Game, has at its heart not politics, not race, not even basketball. The centerpiece is a troubled family relationship.
And action!
In this plot, the father, played by Denzel Washington, is in jail for unintentionally killing the mother.
You want to play me one-on-one? One-on-one. And if I win, you get the hell out of here? I ain't studied, son. The hell out of my life forever.
Spike Lee's own father, Bill, is a bass player who spent much of his career playing for the great folk singer Odetta. Bill Lee was also his main music man for his early films.
My father, he did the score for She's Gonna Have It, School Days, Do the Right Thing, and Jungle Fever. And since then, Terrence Blanchard, the jazz trumpeter, has done all the scores.
In 1992, Bill Lee was arrested for possession of heroin and underwent drug rehabilitation. But Spike's struggle to reconcile with his father began decades earlier with the death of his mother in 1973. Do you think there'll ever be a resolution with your father getting remarried again into a white woman?
My problem was not with my father marrying a white woman. It was the fact that it's just a universal thing. If parents, the children, universally, they don't get along with the stepmother, especially in the amount of time that it happened.
How fast did it happen?
It was like less than a year.
Oh.
So, I mean,
that's hard.
I mean, I think that's asking a lot to put on any children for the transition. They're still not getting over the loss. I mean, it wasn't that bad for me. I mean, it was bad, but I'm 21, but my other siblings are still kind of young. And so they're still grieving. And so it's not the fact that this lady's white, the fact there's another lady in here, period.
That is tough.
You know, that's the thing.
But they're still together?
Yes.
Are they?
And they're married.
You know, Daddy doesn't want to fight or yell or scream or holler. All Daddy wants to do is play his music. That's all.
Which among your films do you think is perhaps the most autobiographical?
Oh, it's a Crookwood.
Because?
It's based upon a family African-American family growing up in the late 60s, early 70s in Brooklyn, New York.
Come on, Mommy. Why I gotta eat this?
Black eyed peas have calcium.
All calcium in the world ain't gonna make up for this nasty taste.
It might have made up for your broke arm.
Spike Lee was born in Atlanta, but before he was 2, he moved to what would become his spiritual and cinematic home in the Fort Greene section of Brooklyn. Your name was Shelton Jackson, Lee? Who gave you the name Spike?
My mother.
Is it a close family?
At times, but my grandma and I are very close.
Zimmy.
Zimmy.
And is it a pretty middle class? Was it pretty middle class growing up, or?
Well, we had middle class education, but not necessarily have middle class income because my father is a jazz musician, and he never really made a lot of money.
And your mother worked?
Yeah, she worked. She had to.
But you said it was an artistic upbringing. There's a lot of goings-on in the house that...
Yeah, music and going to the theater and movies, all that stuff.
What kind of influence was your mother on your life?
Oh, she was a great influence. My father was kind of laid back, but my mother was the one that would stay on us.
What did she give you?
Oh, she gave me my get up and go by drive.
I know she died when you were 21.
I was 20. I was a sophomore at Morehouse in Atlanta.
Cancer isn't a hard death to do. Do you have some remembrance of her that you keep?
Periodically, I look at the letters she would write me when I was away at Morehouse. I have those.
How does that feel?
You have the serious touch.
When Pinnacle returns, Spike Lee and his erotic scenes.
But not you.
From the CNN-FN Financial News headquarters in New York, this is CNN's Business Weekend. This weekend, tune in to CNN, minding your business 7 days a week.
In your current job, how often do you update sales forecasts?
Every minute.
You're serious?
Yeah, actually, salespeople enter their forecasts on the internet. Orders come in the same way.
Sales forecasts up to the minute?
Up to the minute around the world. So, where do you get that kind of software? Hire me, and I'll tell you.
Oracle, the world's second largest software company, is the first with global sales forecasting applications on the internet.
Who are these people? They go to the strangest places, work in the tightest quarters, and gladly keep the oddest hours. Who are they? Forever probing and prodding, digging, exploring. Who are these people? They are Texaco, and what they do is find the energy the world needs to keep on running. Texaco, a world of energy.
I always wished when I was in film school that I had a professor who was working in the industry, not someone, who's working there because they can't get a job or whatnot. We didn't have a script.
For you to look at?
Mm-hmm.
How about 2 weeks?
All right. I tried to encourage them, and I also try to be honest and try to really instruct them how it is out here.
I've also been writing a feature, which I have a draft. When do you bring in other people to read it and kind of give you feedback, or do you not do that?
No, when the first draft is done.
Huh.
But you have to be very select who you let read it.
Right. So do you have a specific list of people that you give it to?
I use John Killick as one.
Mm-hmm.
My wife Ty is another person.
Mm-hmm. And do you do what they say?
Sometimes. Sometimes I don't.
Honesty is vitally important to Spike Lee's films, and that regularly embroils him in controversy, even with his wife and chief critic, Tanya.
The good thing about He Got Game, this is the first original screenplay I've written solely since Jungle Fever. And it was my wife that told me to do that, too.
Oh, she did? Why?
She said she'd been missing my original voice, and there was time for me to write an original screenplay. And I thought about it, and I said, yeah, it's been a while. Jungle Fever was the last one I did.
Is she a confidant?
Yes, and biggest critic.
What's her biggest criticism?
Ethics. No, sometimes she feels that my characters could do things that they shouldn't be doing, but in a lot of ways, you know, it's a choice you have to make. Are you going to reflect society, or are you going to show stuff the way you hope it would be, or the way you want it to be?
A lot of your films are very erotic scenes. Are you a romantic?
My wife would say no.
Do you smell that?
What?
The candles are scented.
Yeah, it smells good. Now, why don't you undress?
Spike Lee's first feature hit, She's Gotta Have It, was hailed as a totally original, sexy comedy. Its charm and fun did not reveal the suffering that went into making it, raising $175,000 in bits and pieces from friends, relatives, and foundations. Spike Lee learned fast that talent alone is not enough. You have to be a businessman to make movies.
It's much harder for African Americans and minorities, but you know, it's hard to get a film made nowadays.
It hasn't gotten easier for you?
It's still very hard to get a film made because the studios are looking for a certain type of film that is star-driven, that have to make at least $100 million, that are big event movies. And if you want to do something that isn't necessarily, you know, quite in that order, then it's tough.
What would you like to do?
And I still would love to do the Jackie Robinson story, but as of yet, we've been unable to get the money.
You've often gone to other African Americans for...
We just did it twice.
To Oprah and to...
We did that for Malcolm X, for Warner Brothers, Tried to Jerk Us, and for the film Get on the Bus. That film was financed solely by 15 African-American men, people like Johnny Cochran, Will Smith, Wesley Snipes.
How many of your films have given a return back?
Hey, how you doing?
I think they've all at least broke even. I don't think any of them lost money.
Well, Get on the Bus, though, that was, what, $2.8 million film.
Mm-hmm.
But it disappeared awfully fast.
That happens when people don't show up.
When we return, Spike Lee's struggles to make Do the Right Thing and Malcolm X. He lost his girlfriend, his father got busted, and one of his actresses was murdered, all on the same day. Remember to start the day with Business Day right here on CNN, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Eastern. And for a complete wrap of all the day's news, watch the Moneyline News Hour with Lou Dobbs, 6:30 Eastern, weeknights on CNN.
If you've been thinking about jumping into a rugged new Montana,
I need more room!
now's a really good time.
Never seen a minivan do that before.
Maybe it's not really a minivan. Life was more exciting in Montana. Now jump into a rugged Montana with this limited time offer. But get a move on because the train's leaving the station.
I am the changing face of real estate. I'm an ear, and I'm a voice. I am Caldwell Banker. I'm a commitment, a promise. I am a guarantee. I am Caldwell Banker, and I will sell your home.
Call your local office and discover what real estate should be.
Dad has only good for one thing. If you get a lick that feels free.
After She's Gotta Have It came School Days, Spike Lee's $6 million homecoming tribute to Atlanta's Morehouse College, where he, his father, and grandfather went as undergraduates.
2 slices. Turn it up! Mr. Radio Raheem. I can't even hear myself speak!
Then, in 1989, Lee electrified viewers and reviewers with his breakthrough film, Do the Right Thing. Do the Right Thing grossed $28 million and reaped $1 billion worth of free publicity. Controversy over the film divided neatly along racial lines. Do you want to be a champion of the lower class to which you never belonged?
I'm an African American, so I haven't put myself and say, well, okay, all you black people down there, I'm not of you, and I'm here. I mean, I've never felt like that. I mean, we wouldn't be here in Brooklyn if that wasn't the case. So, I mean, I'm not going to try to divide black people up based on class.
You ever heard of the Mo Better?
Mo what?
Mo Better makes it Mo Better.
Spike's next two films continued to reflect fragments of his own life. Mo Better Blues was about jazz musicians like his father. Jungle Fever sizzled, depicting interracial sex and, for the first time, drug addiction. As a filmmaker, your work has been almost more scrutinized than anybody's.
Oliver Stone beats me out, probably.
Oh, he may. Yeah, he may. What do you do with all the comments and all the things that are said about your movies?
Well, maybe I'm wrong, but I always felt that was a critic's job to comment on the work that's on the screen. But in my case, you know, a lot of times they talk about everything but that. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a disservice to the actors, to the technicians, because they're not reviewing the work. In a lot of cases, they're reviewing what their perception of Spike Lee is. But judge the films, you know, judge the film, what's on screen.
You are held to this kind of double standard in a lot of ways. And, you know, you are perhaps the only African-American director who can get a film made.
Wait a minute.
Regardless of whether it makes money or not.
Well, I think I've been very fortunate, but I could get a film made. But there, you should put an asterisk next to that. I can get a film made for a certain price.
We didn't come over on the Nita, the Pinta, and the whatchamacallit. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us.
Although Spike Lee had a $30 million budget for Malcolm X, he had to overcome huge obstacles, personal and professional, to get the epic film made. First, his girlfriend, the model Veronica Webb, dumped him. The same day, his father got busted for heroin. Shortly afterwards, one of his actresses was raped and murdered in Harlem. And at one point, a car crashed into his set, a driverless car with a brick taped to the gas pedal.
I say it again, you've been had. You've been short.
He was frequently at odds with the Nation of Islam, with the Teamsters Union, and with Warner Brothers. But by any means necessary, Spike Lee hammered away. When it's all over, and, you know, somebody's laying the flowers on the tombstone, what do you, and they say, oh, yeah.
Or urinating on my... Take your pick.
I mean, they'll say, oh, yeah, Spike Lee. Spike Lee, he's the guy who...
Remember me by my work. You know, simple as that. Because that's all you leave when you're gone.
Attention Pinnacle fans, on April 11th, we're moving to prime time on CNN, 9:30 p.m. Eastern on Sunday nights. So you'll be able to see us twice on Sunday at 7 a.m. and 9:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on CNN.
Tonight on Cold War, could a new leader in the Kremlin finally mean reform and an end to the arms race? Cold War, tonight 8 Eastern on CNN.
Tell me about that car that got away.
Well, there have been a lot of rumors floating around about me and the car and the bridge.
It's a archetypal myth.
He asked me to run it through the DMB computer to try to find it.
He's Odysseus, adrift on a windless sea.
He's like John Wayne in The Searchers, obsessed.
I'm working on the screenplay.
He sits there and just stares at that bridge for hours.
Never wants anyone to go through the pain of losing a car.
Boy meets car, boy loses car, boy builds car empire. What do you think?
Both Sides with Jesse Jackson. Today, 5:30 Eastern on CNN.
From Washington, the Capitol Gang.
Welcome to Capitol Gang. I'm Mark Shields with Al Hunt, Robert Novak, and Margaret Carlson. Our guest is Governor Frank Keating of Oklahoma, the chairman of the Republican Governors Association. Thanks for coming in, Frank.
An honor. Thank you.
Good to have you here. In his first press conference in nearly a year, President Clinton said that Serbian aggression in Kosovo justifies U.S. airstrikes.
U.S. and other NATO pilots will be in harm's way. The Serbs have a strong air defense system, but we must weigh those risks against the risks of inaction. If we don't act, the war will spread.
Here are some press conference questions and answers. Did the president conceal Chinese espionage to protect U.S. relations with China?
I can say categorically that it never crossed my mind that I should not disclose some inquiry being undertaken by the United States government for reasons of commercial or other gain. That is not true.
How would he respond to claims of Juanita Broderick that he had raped her 21 years ago?
5 weeks ago today, I stood in the Rose Garden after the Senate voted, and I told you that I thought I owed it to the American people to give them 100% of my time and to focus on their business, and that I would leave it to others to decide whether they would follow that lead.
Asked whether his legacy would be that of telling lies, he replied that even presidents must tell the truth, and then added this.
But I also think that there will be a box score, and there will be that one negative, and then there will be the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times when the record will show that I did not abuse my authority as president, that I was truthful with the American people.
Bob Novak, how did the president handle this press conference after such a long layoff?
You know, Mark, the Washington insiders, Republicans as well as Democrats, give him very high grades on this. I don't, because I really believe that of all the presidents I've seen, he is least forthcoming in a press conference. He doesn't answer any questions. The main purpose was to convince us that we should go to war over a Balkan ethnic disagreement. I don't think he was any more convincing to the public than he was on the Hill. But when he says that there was just one episode, one black mark where he didn't tell the truth, when he is a president now who is not believed on the Hill, he's not believed by the American people, I thought it was a poor performance.
Poor performance. Al Hunt, poor performance?
Better than Bob says. I think on substance, I'd give him at best a C-. In Kosovo, he has talked too much and acted too little. And I don't want to tell my children that when it comes to telling the truth, what really counts is your batting average. But I think politically, Mark, you'd have to give him an A. I think the message that was sent out from that press conference is that we're not going to wallow in whitewater anymore. The Juanita or Broderick story, whatever you think of it, seems to have just about disappeared. And I think really Clinton set the table for the next 22 months fairly effectively.
Margaret, I'm counting on you. Who's right here, Al or Bob?
Well, they're both right there. I almost never say that. The press conference overall, it's his form. He does well in it, and that he doesn't have more is a mystery because he usually dominates them. The press is less popular than he is, so the press is not going to win these encounters. But I agree with Bob. The one thing that was so upsetting was we have legal proceedings now so that the person who's under scrutiny by the independent counsel can say he's innocent if he gets off. And that's what Clinton did, and he got to do it again. And he got to do it in the box score question, the lying question, and it was almost the whole game. That episode with Monica Lewinsky almost erased everything he had done. So to say that that is not the game, but just part of the box score is wrong. And he has a lot to make up for.
Frank Keating.
Well, to paraphrase Chesty Puller, when the 1st Marine Division was surrounded at Chosin Reservoir, don't worry, men, they're all around us. They won't get away now. I feel that I'm
going to have to take a little bit of both of you because you have the envelop. I think, as a former law enforcement person, I was astonished that a question to the President of the United States about whether or not he engaged in a rape offense, a felony. Matter of fact, not too many years ago, we executed people for rape. An individual who would be accused of bank robbery or some other serious crime, he would refer it to his lawyer as President of the United States. Appalling that we've come to the point where that is the kind of answer we get. On Kosovo, I got to agree with Al. All of us out there want to know, are we going to war? Is this something that the Congress approves of? Do the American people approve of it? And we weren't, he was not, answering the questions as to when, where, and why. It was more of a diplomat's joust, as if he were talking not to the American people, but to the people in that section of the world.
Let me disagree with all of you.
Good.
Okay?
Good.
So I thought the Kosovo statement should have been a stand-by-itself statement. It should have been the preamble to a press conference. It's too important. If you're talking about committing Americans to combat and putting them at peril, you just don't make it as sort of an announcement you're doing a new dam in Nevada or something of the sort. And secondly, I thought, I agree with Margaret, I think Bill Clinton does this about as well as anybody I've ever seen. Except Jack Kennedy. I mean, he really, I think he has chosen a breadth of information, and but all you can think of is wistful melancholy. It's all squandered because of the lies and the dissembling and everything else. So I was left with a sense of sadness.
But where I disagree with you is that I think with Jack Kennedy, who was very able, and almost all presidents, they gave you some information. If you reread the press conference, and I did, he puts out very little. The other question is that he didn't talk about his personal conduct when he was under impeachment. Now the impeachment's over, he still doesn't talk about it. He says we got to turn the page and go to something else. And in that whole press conference, the only people who asked him about his reprehensible behavior, his first press conference in almost a year, was Sam Donaldson and his wife.
Leadership is persuasion and a view from the field. I think the average person, I had one person ask me, is this like if the British had come in to say that South Carolina really should be able to secede? Is this an attack on a sovereign country? What are the historic, real-life goings-on over there? What is our national interest? Why are we doing this? If the United States were attacked, obviously the President, without a vote of the Congress, can respond quickly. The United States has not been attacked. This is a matter that has not been thoroughly debated.
I agree.
President Bush said by January 15th, either the Iraqis were out or were coming in. He had the congressional support for that decision, and he followed it. The problem here is I think the average American, myself included, doesn't understand what this is all about and why we're doing it.
No, I think that's absolutely. But coming back to Bob's point, he's trying to turn the page. Obviously, they've got a construct. I'm not going to talk about
what happened. You never opened the page.
No,
you never opened the book.
I agree. But is it going to work? Is it going to work?
Oh, I think it is working. I think it's no question it's working. That the page is. I think Bob said only 2 questions were asked. The next press conference, I suspect there won't be any on that. So I think it's working. And I would also, Frank, where you and I agree on Clinton and the Balkans, let's not let Bush off so easy. The Bush policy, if anything, was worse on the Balkans.
You know, Mark, in one-on-one encounters, face-to-face encounters with the press backs off. The night before, we had this big dinner, public officials and the press, 1,000 people. Clinton gave his speech. It was amusing in parts. Great laughter on the part of the press, coddling each other.
Sucking up, as we would call it.
Bob, this is a family show.
Enjoy that.
That's what you call it.
I was at Bob's table, and he was laughing himself.
Last word, Margaret Carlson. Next word. Coming up next, Frank Keating and the gang will be back with Medicare War.
You see a performance vehicle. At Sprint, that's how we see the Internet. It's about Sprint's Internet reliability and quick response. It's about your suppliers knowing exactly what you need the moment you do, so you can get more product out the door. It's about reaching customers in new ways and maximizing your share of market. Fact is, Sprint recently won Datacom Magazine's highest award for Internet reliability. Because business runs on data, and data runs on Sprint.
If you and your spouse are age 63 today, chances are at least one of you will live to 85. So guess what? If you're in your 60s, you should consider yourself a long-term investor.
The Fidelity Retirement Growth Fund, designed for retirement investors, seeks solid long-term capital appreciation. See what Fidelity Money Management Excellence can do for you. Get the Fact Kit today. Call 1-800-FIDELITY or visit fidelity.com.
Each year,
The Denver Mint produces over 7.5 billion coins. So when it came time to replace their roof, CNA was there to cover it. CNA worked with B&M Roofing, providing them with general liability insurance, workers' compensation, commercial auto coverage, and a surety bond. And CNA can offer you a broad array of insurance products and services for your business, home, auto, and life. CNA, for all the commitments you make.
These days, almost everyone is seeking new opportunities. To help you succeed, Anderson Consulting works with your organization to align all its strengths. So no matter what you're after, the reward may be greater than you ever imagined.
Welcome back. The Bipartisan Commission on Medicare failed to reach agreement when President Clinton would not back a reform plan pushed by the Democratic chairman, Senator John Breaux of Louisiana.
I think putting surplus dollars into the Part A trust fund doesn't fix Medicare's underlying program.
I'm instructing my advisors to draft a plan to strengthen Medicare for the 21st century. Medicare is too important to let partisan politics stand in the way of vital progress.
Meanwhile, the Republican-controlled Senate and House Budget Committees each approved budgets with delayed tax cuts.
We will not allow Medicare to be used for tax cuts regardless of what the Republicans want to do. We will not let that happen.
The bottom line is the Republicans are going to save $1.8 trillion to save Social Security and Medicare. The president's saving $1.6 billion. And they're going to say that we're short-cutting these programs? I mean, how can you even make that charge?
I hear Bob Novak say, Al, are the Republicans actually endangering Medicare, or are the Democrats simply posturing?
Well, I'm going to surprise my friend Bob Novak by saying there's more Democratic posturing here. The Breaux plan has some problems, Mark, but I wish Clinton would show more courage and take more initiative. But before Bob gets feeling too good, let's keep two things in mind, Robert. First of all, Medicare has some long-term financial problems, but it remains a shining success story of what government can do. There are millions and millions of people in the twilight of their lives who are living longer and with more dignity because of Medicare. And secondly, politically, I would point out that the 1995 Republican Revolution came to a screeching halt when in the fall they were perceived as favoring tax cuts for the affluent over Medicare. They're on the verge of jumping into that briar patch again.
Bob, personal privilege.
Well, what you just said was exactly right. It was the big lie that they were going to take money out of Medicare. No money was taken out of Medicare to fund any tax cuts, and that's what they're doing now. That's what Tom Daschle, uncharacteristically yelling at a pep rally, is saying. I think the outrage, though, is the president saying he doesn't want to play partisan politics when he undercuts his loyal supporter, John Breaux, because there's a private saving component in the Breaux plan, which organized labor and the administration will not tolerate. And then the president says, I'm assigning my administration to get a problem. What, now? This is no surprise. We knew this was coming for years. He has not been diligent.
Well, it's the one legacy of the Clinton presidency that could contribute mightily to the solution to a very significant problem. 17-member commission, 10 people agree this is the way to go. 2 people, Kerry and Breaux, Democrats. What is proposed, I think, is a good mix of both the best and brightest ideas from both sides. And the president says he wants to fix it in the 21st century, but he's going to wait till the 21st century to fix it. One thing about executives, whether you're governor of a state or president of the United States, if there's a problem, you ask people to come together, both parties, the best and brightest you can, to make recommendations, and you follow those recommendations. I don't understand what now is going to happen. He brought together the people that he wanted, and the people that I think best can speak to this issue. The recommendations are sound and solid, and we ought to have at it. I think that Breaux is correct to say we're going to try it through the Congress anyway.
Well, Senator Breaux says it is alive, and it's going to go to the Finance Committee, and it's going to be turned into legislation, so it can be debated. It's not dead. I think people are too smart to let either party scare them, to let Democrats scare them on Medicare this time. It's a complicated problem, and you can't just scare old people into thinking Republicans are going to take it away because Republicans want to fix it too. So it's not going to work as an issue as much as it did last time. So I don't see the briar patch Republicans going into it.
Link it with the tax cuts, Margaret.
Right. If they link it with an across-the-board tax cut for Bob's people, that is going to be a problem for them.
For Bob's people, so people making over $50,000 a year.
You agree, though, that whatever the financial footing problems are, that we're a better country because we have Medicare?
Well, I don't think it's a very good system, and I think there could have been a better system. I'd like to see a private component in the system, but there's no question, frankly, you say, what's going on? I say what's going on. They just want to hit the Republicans over the head with this Medicare, and I'm just disappointed that some journalists give them some aid and comfort.
Well, I mean, that's the thing that's astonishing to me. You have a president who now, in the autumn of his presidency, wants to have something to show for what he's done. Obviously, Northern Ireland is significant. Hopefully, the situation in Bosnia perhaps can be a significant contribution to world peace.
He's demagogues on this.
But he's demagoguing on this. This is the one country
Let me go
make it
straight
enough.
folks, to Bob and Frank, and that is that the Republicans' Back to the Future tax plan lets Bill Clinton off the hook. Because what it does is we're going to take care of Social Security. All we're going to leave for Medicare is $133 billion that everybody else competes with. That's exactly that's exactly what the plan is. Am I right, Al?
That's absolutely right, Mark.
Thanks, Al.
Mark, you said it exactly right.
Boy, Al, you said the last word. Next on Capital Gang, Steve Forbes tries again. Tries again.
Good morning. This is the Farm Report. Pork bellies, wheat, and soy futures.
Where am I? Waking up is hard, wherever you are.
Good morning, sir.
But coffee helps. And cereal and fresh fruit. Ooh, that definitely helps. And before long,
He did it again! Unbelievable!
you're a human again. This town's not so bad. Complimentary breakfast and a great new frequency program. It's more than a room. It's comfort.
John wanted to tell you that with Accolade, he gets out more with fewer asthma symptoms. But we just missed him. Philip wanted to tell you that with Accolade, he doesn't have to use his rescue inhaler as often. But his mind is on Abby, not asthma. And Bev wanted to tell you that Accolade is for day and night control of asthma symptoms. But she just stepped away. If you use a rescue inhaler more than twice a week and are 12 or older, ask your doctor about adding Accolade. Accolade is a non-steroid pill you take in the morning and evening, but it is not for sudden asthma attacks. Talk to your doctor before changing your current asthma treatments if you are nursing, taking blood thinners, or if your medical condition worsens. Accolade is generally well tolerated by most patients. Side effects may include headache, infection, and nausea. For more information, call 1-800-308-6140 or talk with your doctor. Joy wanted to tell you that with Accolade, she gets more nights of restful sleep with fewer asthma symptoms. But she can't right now. Accolade, taken twice daily, helps control asthma symptoms all day and all night.
I'm watching you, CNN.
Welcome back. Magazine publisher Steve Forbes launched his second campaign for the Republican presidential nomination by announcing it on the Internet.
I'm going to run the first full-scale presidential campaign in American history on the Internet because I want you to be involved every step of the way.
He then went to Concord, New Hampshire to take a no tax increase pledge.
It is absolutely important for every candidate, for every office, whether it's on the national level, the state level, or the local level, to sign this pledge.
Margaret Carlson, should Steve Forbes be taken seriously, as he wasn't in '96 at the outset?
Well, anyone with as much money as he has to be taken seriously because he can be on TV for a very long time. His people think he's the alternative if George Bush stumbles, and they're trying to get him in that tier. That when Bob's candidate makes a blunder, finally comes out, takes a stand, George W., stand on the issues, that Steve can be the one to stay the course. And he's got buys throughout this time period. I mean, he could buy a network with the money he has, and so certainly he can buy enough. He can buy enough ads to stay in. And he's gotten religion, and he's now going over into foreign policy because he was Radio Free America. So now he's a religious, a religious internationalist.
Okay. In the interest of full disclosure, Frank Keating, you are already enlisted in
Bob's Army.
George W. Bush.
Bob.
George W. Bush.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Geez, I didn't know George W. had counted Novak. Yeah. If he does, he's in trouble.
That is correct.
But
I think
what about Steve Forbes?
I think George Bush is going to be the nominee.
No, but I know you do. This is not
a cacophony of voices on our side.
Okay.
The Dan Quayles, the Steve Forbes, the John Kasich's, all these guys will have something to contribute to the campaign. When it's all over, when the dust and the blood and the fog settles and the gunpowder blows away, George Bush will be the nominee.
Now,
you know, Margaret's right. You got to take him seriously because of his money. He's buying every hired hand that he can get right now, Mark. I think it's pretty much an article of faith that even before you get to someone stumbling, there's going to be a candidate from the social right, if you will, to take on a candidate from the establishment. The conventional wisdom is that candidate from the social right will be Steve Forbes. I'll bet right here now it's more likely to be Pat Buchanan or Dan Quayle.
The rationale for Steve Forbes, as Margaret and Al have stumbled into the truth, is money. The fact is that Pat Buchanan became the candidate of the social right against the establishment candidate Dole, but he ran out of money. Didn't have any money left at all. And the hope is that Forbes, who is now a different kind of candidate than he was in '96, he is much more of a social conservative, is that he will have plenty of money, and so that he will be there for the long haul against George W. Bush. Whether that works out that way, I'm skeptical, but it could.
Margaret.
He does have to convince people, however, that he is different and that he did find religion, so that he appeals to the social conservatives.
No.
It's not going to be easy that he wasn't able to do last time.
Is he from New Jersey, Frank?
Yeah.
No, because that's not where he was last time.
He's an Episcopalian, Mark, and those are my people. I know Episcopalians.
I love Episcopalians. I got to ask you one quick thing. He wants the president to denounce human rights abuses in China, but he endorses most favored nation status. He wants the president to slap sanctions on China's rogue military-owned companies, but he curtails selling sophisticated technology. What is his China position?
Well, I think he's in favor of engagement, aren't you?
Okay, Bob, long engagement in your case, Bob. Thanks for being with us, Frank Keating. We gave you back with the outrage of the week.
Our viewer outrage of the week is from Cece Beebe from Blue Ridge, Georgia. She writes, when Jennifer Flowers went public with her revelation that she and Bill Clinton had an affair which lasted 12 years, one of the most strident and vociferous voices denying her story was that of George Stephanopoulos. He sneeringly attacked her credibility every chance he got because she had, quote, sold her story and made money from it, end quote. Now, here he is, selling his story and making money from it. Talk about a double standard. Talk about an outrage. If you have an outrage for next week, our email address is catgang@cnn.com. Or call the toll-free number at 1-888-847-8660. We will choose one outrage to air at this same time next week on The Capital Gang.
This is an extraordinary little device, this is. It places your data on a seamless global network, the only global network owned by a single company. Suddenly Paris, London, Brussels, Dusseldorf are 60 milliseconds away. 60 milliseconds? Now, don't you wish you could travel like that? Be careful what you wish for.
On Net from MCI WorldCom.
Every organization has many stars. But Anderson Consulting can help you integrate all your diverse talent. So when you reach for the moon, you might actually get it.
My name is Bernhard Langer, and for a long time my life was golf, golf, and more golf. I'd won 7 tournaments in 1 year, was ranked #1 in the world. I had a beautiful young wife, but there was something missing. Until one day another golfer helped me find the way to a personal relationship with God. I discovered a personal faith that changed my life forever and brought me more fulfillment than any golf victory ever could. If there's something missing from your life, you should read this wonderful book, It's called Power for Living, and it's yours absolutely free. It provides real and lasting solutions to life's everyday problems by leading you toward a personal relationship with God, a relationship that saved my life.
To get your free copy of Power for Living, just call this toll-free number. There's no risk, no obligation, and no one will call.
Call today and begin to change your life for the better.
Outrage of the week. On CNN, Vice President Al Gore exaggerated, quote, "During my service in the United States Congress, I took the initiative in creating the Internet," end quote. Actually, the Internet began in the Defense Department in the Eisenhower years. But reactions to Gore's boast by Senate Leader Trent Lott and former Vice President Dan Quayle deserve praise. Instead of overkill, both Republicans cleverly used the needle. Lott's statement, quote, "During my service in the Congress, I took the initiative in creating the paperclip," end quote. And from Dan Quayle, quote, "If Gore invented the Internet, I invented spell check." The outrage that more politicians don't wisely use humor. Bob Novak.
Instead of rejoicing that Elia Kazan is getting the coveted Lifetime Achievement Oscar, the news media has been trashing the 89-year-old director. He is assailed for doing his patriotic duty in 1952 when testifying before Congress. He admitted his brief membership in the Communist Party and disclosed the name of 8 other comrades polluting motion pictures. A half-century later, the news media makes Kazan the villain and the Hollywood Reds the heroes, part of a deplorable tendency to glorify the communist dupes of yesteryear.
Margaret Carlson.
Mark, O.J. Simpson has a new career, making ads for criminal attorneys, proving it doesn't matter if you achieved your fame through good deeds or bad, heroic acts or heinous ones. You can always cash in. Exactly how bad does your image have to be for O.J. to be a help to it? Did these lawyers graduate from mail-order night school? In the ads, O.J. urges those in trouble to call an 800 number. When I see O.J.'s face, I want to dial 911.
Al Hunt.
President Clinton, at this week's TV dinner, where Margaret caught Bob laughing, scooped us on a big new development here.
We got our hands on a preview of cable news' next really big show.
Live from Washington, Pundit Tubbies.
Mr. Tinky Winky, Jack Kemp dropped the ball on the flat tax in 1996. Will Steve Forbes pick it up and carry it across the goal line 2000? Uh-oh. I'm with you. That's a nice bag, by the way.
Finally, Bob will have a show with his peers.
That's the part he was laughing at, the dinner.
That's right. This is Mark Shields saying so long for the Capitol gang.
Tonight on Cold War, could a new leader in the Kremlin finally mean reform and an end to the arms race? Cold War, tonight 8 Eastern on CNN.
There's always been a few places to find compelling stories. Soon, one of those places is as close as your television.
From CNN and Time.
Stories that touch your world.
From CNN and Fortune.
People who are shaping business today.
From CNN and Entertainment Weekly.
Who and what to watch. Witness the evolution of the news magazine, CNN Newsstand.
For individuals with complex financial needs, Copper Mountain Trust is relentlessly building wealth.
If you run your own business, you can get a free trial version of QuickBooks from the makers of Quicken. Stay tuned.
8 out of 10 small businesses that use accounting software turn to QuickBooks, the fastest, easiest way to manage your business finances.
I use QuickBooks to write and print my checks for paying my bills.
Paid advertisement for the Bosley Medical Institute.